Hello, and welcome to my Assignment 1 presentation. In this slideshow, I will be walking you through the four artifacts that represent my learning and growth so far from blocks 1 and 2. Each artifact will highlight a different way that I've engaged with our course content and reflects how my thinking has evolved about teaching multilingual learners, especially within the context, for me, within a construction and technological education classroom. I'll also share how these artifacts inform my teaching practices and strategies to make my classroom more inclusive and supportive. The first artifact that I have is the Who Am I slide, which for me was designed to show students my human side. My goal is to create a sense of openness and approachability, and to let students know that I am a person just like them, and not just an instructor giving them directions for the sake of giving them directions. For multilingual learners, this personal connection will help build trust and safety, ideally within my classroom. When students feel seen and valued for who they are, they're more willing to take risks, communicate, and participate, which are key factors in language and skill development. In my own teaching, I've noticed that when I share a bit about my background, such as my interests or experiences outside of the classroom, the students are quicker to engage and ask questions. Hopefully, this will help lower anxiety and build confidence to communicate, especially for the learners who might be new to the language or the classroom environment. The next artifact that I have expands on the idea from the previous one in terms of introducing myself to new multilingual learners and new students through the use of a name card slide. This could be part of an introductory presentation that I could use at the start of a semester. And you'll notice that up in the top corner of the name card, I have speaker icons, which each one would play an audio clip of me introducing myself and the information on the name tag in the different languages that are represented in my class, as well as an English one, so that the students have the ability to listen to their home language and the new English language that they're trying to learn, and try to make those connections. So, for example, this would allow multilingual learners to hear familiar sounds, connect meaning between English and their home language. To me, it's a small but meaningful way to make language learning more accessible while showing respect for students' linguistic identities. By providing these audio supports, I can help students feel included and confident from day one, which is especially important in a hands-on tech classroom where instructions are often given verbally. To expand on this kind of use of the different audio tags in the slide, it doesn't have to just be in a introductory presentation. I can incorporate these different audio clips into any deliverable lesson that I'm giving on computer, kind of, for example, where all the information is available in the different languages as well as the English, to try to make those connections from their own language to the language they are working at learning. The next slide includes a graphic illustrating the progression of human needs and capacities that multilingual learners often have to navigate, that we looked at in class on the, I believe it was the Block 2 weekend. It begins at at the middle of the infographic with human capacity, hope, and resilience, and moves through the basic survival needs and outwards through the same graphic. Sorry. After the human capacity, hope, and resilience one, it moves through the survival needs like food, clothing, safety, shelter, power, and belonging, and continues to move outwards towards things like basic communication, cultural adjustment, climatization, support connection, and once again further out into even more complex challenges such as educational challenges, economic challenges, psychological challenges, and environmental challenges. Um, when looking at this infographic, it's important to notice that for these learners, it might not just be them facing one of them. As you can see, the arrows don't only move in and out, they also move around the graphic, showing that often the learners will experience multiple challenges on this graphic, and not just one of them. Reflecting on this visual, helped me recognize that language learning and classroom performance are deeply connected to students' broader life circumstances. Before focusing on technical skills or English proficiency, educators must first ensure that students feel safe, valued, and supported in the school community. In my tech classes, that might mean creating a welcoming space, encouraging peer collaboration, and validating students' strengths beyond language. For example, when teaching a new construction technique, I can pair students in supportive groups and use visual cues, demonstrations, and hands on practices to ensure or hopefully ensure comprehension and reduce stress for those learners. The next slide for me, as I tend to scaffold my own learning, kind of builds on the last idea in terms of the challenges that our multilingual learners often face. And this slide focuses on the family engagement side of it, which is an essential part of supporting multilingual learners. Realizing that their life outside of their independent life also has their family side of it. And this infographic identifies common barriers that families might face, such as language differences, transportation issues, limited time or childcare, unfamiliarity with the school system, and even fear. Each barrier is paired with practical, culturally responsive strategies, like using bilingual staff, translating materials, and providing childcare at events or offering flexible scheduling for these families. This infographic is useful because it gives teachers a quick visual guide to understand the many factors that often affect family involvement. For tech educators like myself, it's a reminder that learning doesn't just happen in the classroom, and it's supported by strong, trusting relationships with the families as well. This visual reinforced my understanding that supporting multilingual learners extends beyond classroom instruction and includes building bridges with their families. By recognizing these barriers and providing solutions to them, I can hopefully design more inclusive communication methods, such as translated progress updates, visual instructions, and maybe the opportunity for a community open house within, say, my shop. Ultimately, this will help build stronger connections, foster belonging, and enhance success for multilingual learners in my construction and technology courses. Overall, these artifacts hopefully will reflect my growing and understanding that teaching multilingual learners isn't just about adapting instruction, it's also about building relationships, creating access, and validating every student's identity. By applying these principles in my tech classrooms, I can hopefully help ensure that every learner feels capable, connected, and included. I'm excited to continue exploring ways to make my classroom more equitable, engaging, and supportive for all students and their families. For now, that concludes this presentation, and I hope I was able to effectively show the learning opportunities that have been given to us over the first few learning weekends. Thanks.